4 major points about what is currently happening in Niger. First point is the sanctions given to Niger by ECOWAS. Secondly, reactions from West African countries like France and USA towards the coup d'etat. Third point, reactions from other African countries like Mali, Guinea and Burkina Faso. And fourthly, we shall look at the consequences of the coup d'etat. Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. I am Grace and this is Book Review DMG, a channel which was created to share premium content that talk about personal development, business, book content and other topics that have personally inspired me. So today we shall be looking at current affairs. Today we are not having a book review, but instead we shall talk about something that is currently happening in West Africa and is creating buzz all over social media. So I don't know if all of you have heard about this, but there was currently a coup d'etat that happened on the 26th of July 2023 in Niger, and this was led by Abdurrahman Chani together with the military force of Niger against the president, the former president actually, who is Mohamed Bazoum. But in this video, we shall be looking at 4 major points about what is currently happening in Niger. First point is the sanctions given to Niger by ECOWAS. Secondly, reactions from West African countries like France and USA towards the coup d'etat. Third point, reactions from other African countries like Mali, Guinea and Burkina Faso. And fourthly, we shall look at the consequences of the coup d'etat. So going on with the first point, there is a document that is actually on the ECOWAS page, and ECOWAS is actually the Economic Community of West African States. So on their page, ECOWAS.int, there is this document that they posted on the 30th of July after having a meeting whereby they were discussing on the steps they were going to take towards the coup d'etat in Niger. And they actually came up with 10 sanctions that took place with immediate effect. So these 10 sanctions started on 30th July, and one of them is closure of land and air borders between ECOWAS countries and Niger. In second point, institution of ECOWAS no-fly zone on all commercial flights to and from Niger. Suspension of all commercial and financial transactions between ECOWAS member states and Niger. Freezing of all services transactions including utility services. Freezing of all assets of the Republic of Niger in ECOWAS central banks. Freezing of assets of the Niger states and the state enterprises and parastatals in commercial banks. 7. Suspension of Niger from all financial assistance and transactions with all financial institutions. 8. Travel ban and asset freeze for the military officials involved in the coup attempt. The same applies to their family members and the civilians who accept to participate in any institutions or government established by these military officials. And lastly, calls on WAEM and all other regional bodies to implement this decision. So as you can see, currently in Niger, you are not allowed to fly in and fly out. Nigerians are not allowed to use their money, and so much is going on. Yeah, and these sanctions are actually causing a lot of tension in Niger. So I don't know if you knew about this, but actually France and the United States are countries that have interest in Niger, and as such they are scared right now. The president of France is actually worried, and he doesn't want anybody else to touch onto his interest, and is even ready to use force in order to protect his interest in Niger. So you can see how deep actually this issue has gone, and as such, we who are actually watching from outside, it makes us realize one thing, that maybe they're all supporting this because the president who has been overthrown, Mohamed Bazoum, was someone that maybe was in alliance with them, and now that I've overthrown him, it's going to be much harder for the Western countries to have access to their interest in Niger. Before we go on, we are going to display a map that is actually going to guide us into seeing the possible consequences that may happen in case a war breaks out after Sunday. So the map is actually a representation of the ECOWAS states, and as you can see, there are different colors that are showing the current states. The countries in pink are the ones that are threatening to intervene in case they do not liberate Mohamed Bazoum, and the countries in green are the ones giving their support to Niger, which is in yellow, in a yellow color. So consequence number 1, if in any way a war happens in that region, there's going to be most likely to be a formation of a new sub-region, because as you can see from Guinea, Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger, there is a close connection, there's a close contact. Their borders are strictly connected to one another, so it's going to be much easier for them to actually come out of the ECOWAS and form their own region. Secondly, As you can still see from the same map, is that some of the most probably ECOWAS states that will remain after the formation of the new sub-region that actually disconnected from each other. Those countries include Senegal, Gambia, and Guinea-Bissau, because there is Guinea in between them. So in any case, if a war breaks out, there's going to be sort of a disorganization in the ECOWAS states, because some of their states are not going to be closely related to them, which may actually later on influence them to join the new sub-region that would have been formed, that comprises of Guinea, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. Mali and Burkina Faso are sure, they are affirmed. I'm going to be playing a video, and they actually affirmed that if there was to be any country, any states, either the ECOWAS or any other outside country was to declare war on Niger, it means that they will also declare war on them. So let's watch the video. It's in French, but I will be translating it to you in English.
Transition document of Burkina Faso and Mali. 1. Express their fraternal solidarity and that of the people of Burkina Faso and Mali to their brothers of Benin, who have decided in full responsibility to take their destiny in hand and to ensure before history the fullness of their sovereignty. 2. Denounces the persistence of its regional organization to make sanctions, aggravating and jeopardizing the spirit of Pan-Africanism. 3. Refuses to apply illegal, illegitimate, and inhuman sanctions against the people and authorities of Niger. 4. Warn that any military intervention against Niger will escalate against Burkina Faso and Mali. I repeat. 4. Warn that any military intervention against Niger will escalate against Burkina Faso and Mali.